Alright, it's August 4th, 2015. Let's check out what's going on in the Vorshlag shop this week. Alright, this week we're talking about the 69 Camaro. We've got the servos, power steering rack, Woodward here. It's going to go in the front. There was a little Fox Mustang power steering rack in there before, but this wasn't appropriate for this build. So one thing you'll notice, we got the wheels and tires mocked up now. Ryan's got the suspension for the rear pretty much in place, in the front as well. And so they cut some of the structure away that was holding the chassis on, just to make room for the 19 by 13 wheels, 345 Hoosiers on the back, 315 in the front. So you can see this, the columns in place. This is the one the customer brought us. So the old chassis that it came in with is gone. We've got an all new frame built, front to back, including the front subframe. So this is essentially a two-frame car. There's very little of the outer shell left. You can see some of the skin, some of the inner structure like around the doors, and everything else is just skin and attached to the cage. The cage and the frame will be the main structure of the car. Yeah. You see here we've got a false floor in place. This is for the driver's feet. We'll mount the tilted pedal assembly down here. It'll be a full mount design. Most of the floor will be underneath this square tubing. It'll be a flat bottom car, all aluminum panels. You see the transmission crossover, really low ground clearance in this car, so we've made the exhaust run up through the tunnel. And the bottom of the car will be the bottom of the frame. The exhaust will all be in here. So this is a LaJoy seat. Probably seen more in NASCAR than road racing, but it's a nice seat. And that's what he wanted to use. We mocked it up with two different seats he brought. And that's the one we went with. The shifter, the driving position's moved way, way back, about 2 feet. It's basically sitting in the back seat. And so the steering column's extended back. The shifter is remote mounted, close to the wheel, like in a proper race car, and close enough to the driver. The dual 3-inch exhaust for this motor will be run down this side of the tunnel. It'll all fit up inside the tunnel here. It's going to have some Coast Fab rebuildable mufflers down back. The dry sump tank is mounted up front close to the engine, which is the way engine builders like them. A lot of the structure, the roof, the inner structure of the car was removed to get more room for the roll cage so that the driver is further away from all the tubes. These tubes before would be inside the driver's head. The door bars before would be about 8 inches further inboard. Roof bars are too close, so it's just a more appropriate road race gauge. You see here the front roll bar down bars, roll cage down bars follow the A-pillar and roof skin inside of where structure would normally be. Of course, the roll cage would more than replace that. So he had a lot of parts that we were hoping to use. The Speedway Engineering sway bar, of course, is too narrow. And these ends are really heavy steel. We'll get these in aluminum, and we'll get a slightly wider version of that same spline hollow adjustable sway bar. The C6 control arms and uprights are all done months ago. We're about 3 months into this project, and it's all a lot of little details down. But it's neat seeing the wheels and tires on the car for the first time today. Sheet metal is kind of mocked up in place. We got tons of hood clearance, and dry sump pump on this side, plenty of room. Looks like it's a 3-stage pump. This is pro touring to the extreme. It's really going to be a track build, and this is just the appropriate way to do it. For this kind of grip level, what you got to do. So that's the 69 Camaro. We should have a form build thread for this. I've been writing it for the past couple weeks. And we'll start incrementally releasing information on the build up to date and as we finish it. So above me here on the lift is our 2001 330 BMW. I've been trying to get started on this car for about 3 years. We use this chassis to develop our LS1 swap kit, and we still have all the parts for that. And this will be our 2016 race car. At least I hope. We've already started working on it. So our 330 doesn't have a limited slip. It's got the medium case differential. It's kind of expensive to turn into a limited slip center section. So we went ahead and just bought an E46 M3 takeout rear subframe. All the suspension, half shaft, subframe, differential, everything beefed up, brakes. So it's more cost effective than just starting with an M3. So we'll use this. We're taking it apart now, and we're going to blast everything, reinforce the subframe, and have it all powder coated or plated. 210 millimeter ring gear, really strong. That's what they put in the 5 and 7 series. And of course, the 46 M3 comes with a limited slip. Just a better way to start. Should be fine for the power levels we're looking at on this car, 500-600 wheel horsepower. This is a 2003 Miata. We helped the customer buy, and he's going to use this as a trainer car for him, his wife, and his son. They all have much faster track cars, but it's always good to work on your skills in a momentum car like this. It has pretty low expendables, so you can go do a lot of track days for not much money and not much wear and tear. Miatas are a great chassis to start with. They have pretty good handling. This is going to have MCS coilovers, pinky wheels, full roll cage, all the safety gear, and but still be running like a Rival S tire. So it'll be a lot of fun with not super high grip levels, no power mods. We're doing some basic maintenance on it now, timing belt service, water pump, those kind of things on this kind of mileage of the car. But yeah, it should be a nice little fun project we're done. All right, our TTC Corvette has been dormant the past 3 months, waiting on the engine to be rebuilt. Very frustrating, but it's typical. Engine builders aren't known for their expediency most times. Basic rebuild, just because it was blowing smoke at our last event in March, and top of the cylinders were worn. But we can go 20 over, which is within the legal rules of the TT letter classes, and it's already almost done. The crank got balanced yesterday. We should see it back in the next week or so, which will give us just a couple of weeks to get ready for NASA Nationals East. It's going to be tight, but we got to get a test day in before we go to haul 17 hours of VIR and with an unproven car. So hopefully, fingers crossed, parts get here, the test goes well, and we'll make it to Nationals. We're in the CNC room. We've been making a lot of OEM screen purchase for our camper plates. For the longest time, we've used a factory purchase. We roll a bunch of rings to the machine and do all this, a lot of manual work. Now we are CNCing the purchase from billet aluminum. The machines have to work a little bit harder, but we don't. So it's a better part. The tolerances are tighter. We're making about 4 different versions right now. Mustang and 3 different BMW models. So that should get us caught up on the last of our parts in our back order for camera plates. It's been about 18-24 months. We've been struggling to keep up with orders. Now we're finally getting caught up. We've spent a lot of hours in this room. Finally, almost here, about a week away from being 100% out of back order. This is the final step, making E36 BMW camber plate bearing holders, and it's just putting a chamfer on the outer edge now. These start out as a big steel block. You machine one side, 2 at a time, held in the vise. And then it goes to this fixture, and we'll machine the back side, and that's what it's doing now, 8 at a time. And then it'll go into the CNC lathe, and we'll do the interior bit, and we'll be ready to go later. It's one step away from being completely done. The last step of the lathe takes about a minute and a half. So, all right, that's it. August 4th, this week at Vorshlag. Thanks for tuning in.